Good evening, everyone. Um, we've all heard about digital and changing trends in insurtech, but how many of us actually understand or believe in this truly? And I thought I'd kind of start off with a recent survey done by a consulting firm. Uh, this is actually in Singapore, with regards to retail expectations on digital engagement. I think the first important piece was the fact that there's an increased receptiveness towards much more digital engagement. And I know it's a complex graph to understand, but basically, over the next 5 years, you could say that almost 45% of the people expect to do at least half or more of any of their activities relating to kind of financial transactions completely online. And what are these kinds of transactions or activities they expect to do? If you look at it, learning about the various investment options has already become very popular, and soon we're going to expect to become almost 50% of the population is comfortable doing it online. Sharing of financial details and personal details, and then receiving investment advice, and that's slowly growing to being between 34 to 38%. And then actually transactions and doing more online monitoring is kind of slowly growing up. So while there's been this whole hype around robo-advisors and what's it going to do, let's actually look at potentially how do some of the people actually feel regarding digital or robo-advisory versus human advice. What was really encouraging to see the fact that there's a number of factors which people are already aware of, which kind of makes them more promisingly open to looking at digital or robo-advisory. Low fees being the first kind of reason. I think people have gotten a bit tired of sometimes the high cost structures which come in with either based on insurance agents based products or through IFA based products. There's again the whole ability to access some of these solutions anytime, anywhere, and being able to actually see transparently what they're investing in and what are the charges. And then there are obviously some of the more reasons, but I effectively break it down into three pieces. Fees and cost structure of the product. Then there is effectively the ease of effectively transacting, and then there's the trust coefficient. So at WeInvest, we've effectively kind of been working. We're a bunch of 5 ex-bankers and bank technology folks who've been working. We're headquartered in Singapore, and we've effectively built 2 products. We call TrackWealth, which is the personal finance management aggregation tool, to help you aggregate all your bank, brokerage, and wealth accounts into one place so that, and give you an intelligent analysis so that planning for your life becomes a lot easier. And a 2.0 version of what is popularly known as robo-advisory as an investment service. We're offering this to banks, insurance firms, and external asset managers or IFAs in order to kind of target and build specific solutions towards either the millennials or affluent and high net worth folks, depending on which segment you really want to focus on. So let's look at how do we build this 360-degree view, or what you call the aggregation piece called TrackWealth. It's a very secure solution which uses a concept called a personal data vault, so that people's credentials in terms of their bank security, username and passwords are held securely on their own device. And it's real-time aggregation, so it's not like you need to send in PDF statements every month to be able to see a consolidated view. You could wake up or be traveling and you could completely consolidate your entire portfolio online and actually see what's happening with your money and get some intelligent insights on it. But I think the best way to look at it is to actually see this video.
Keep track of your financial life. Bank statements, spreadsheets, notes. It's now time to move to something far better, easier, and more secure. TrackWealth lets you take control of your finances, assess your financial health, and analyze and track your investments, loans, and other assets. All you need to do to get started on TrackWealth is a simple sign up with just your email ID. We don't need any other personal data. You then download the Personal Data Vault and start the installation process depending on your operating system. The Data Vault is essential to keep your personal information encrypted, secure, and anonymized, and ensures that all information you enter stays on your very own system. Once the PDV is installed successfully, you can then choose the institutions of your choice, enter the relevant bank login ID and password, and the process of consolidation starts. It takes between 2 and 4 minutes to gather all your information and put it into the dashboard. So sit back and relax and let TrackWealth do the rest.
So that's TrackWealth, which basically helps you aggregate all your different bank accounts and brokerage accounts. And if you effectively think as to what's the value to an end customer of any of your institutions, it's very clearly people can save time and actually do a lot better planning. It takes less than 3 minutes to kind of aggregate with one institution. You could actually do it anywhere and anytime. The more important piece is actually the fact that they get insights on what assets they hold, what are the risks, how much income are they actually making from different sources, what are the expenses and outflows, and actually look at it from a budgeting and benchmarking perspective by being able to set alerts on various parts of their financial life, being able to set goals and then budgets, and seeing actually them being tracked on a real-time basis. And there are a number of perks which, for example, we've been working with a couple of institutions to think as to how do you increase adoption. Some of them being we want to give it out as a free tool in exchange for information being available to you. There's a lot of increased facilities which you could offer your clients based on their usage. And there are obviously better offers in terms of cross-selling of products which you could do. And therefore, if you look at it from an institutional perspective as an insurance company or a broker or some of the IFAs who are here, there's obviously a very holistic view of your clients which you finally are able to get. Not all clients have been open sometimes to kind of, or being able to give you a complete information. You kind of use a tool and some increased offers to kind of make this whole holistic view possible. You could then effectively end up cross-selling much better goal-based investment plans, or term whole life or ILPs, which are actually more relevant to them based on your understanding of them. Along with actually, this is more of a bank solution or a brokerage solution where you're able to actually offer better lending products or limits. But I think the biggest piece is to being able to kind of precisely identify who are the people who need your product or certain changes in offers on a real-time basis and actually being able to service them. You could have change of circumstances of some of the customers and a lot of drop-offs in terms of insurance policies which have been sold. You can actually be able to kind of real-time customize your offer and actually reach out proactively to them in order to be able to kind of lose clients and retain them better. There are obviously some offshoots from a brand partnerships perspective depending on what you understand of the client. Let's then move on to the fact that now you want to serve your client on a holistic basis and you're able to maybe offer them some better products. But then let's look at Robo-Advisory 2.0 or what you could do. So we've built effectively an API-based solution which is available on a platform as a service model. And what does platform as a service model mean? It means the fact that we can offer you an entire business service as a service. And it's not just a cloud software platform or some of the operational support. But again, let's kind of go through this video to better understand what we have for you.
Audrey is a working mother expecting her second child. Like her firstborn, she wants to plan well ahead for her second child and wants to invest smartly. Unlike the last time, when she had to go through a cumbersome and non-transparent process with her advisor, Audrey looks up to WeInvest Robo-Advisor and sets a goal for her second child's education. She goes through the risk assessment and a customized portfolio is recommended to her. Looking up at the impressive track record of the portfolio, she signs up, digitally signs the documents, and makes the transfer to start her investment. Right from the next day, she's able to track the progress of her investments. And what's more, she knows where every cent of her money is invested and the low fee structure. Audrey loves investing with WeInvest and uses it to invest for all her life goals. Welcome to the new world of simple, transparent, and low-cost investing. WeInvest has combined the best of investing and technology expertise to create the most advanced robo-advisory platform in Asia. WeInvest is available on web and mobile applications and is backed by a robust middle-to-back office platform, which support multiple asset classes, currencies, brokers, business models, and custodians. Investment strategies from leading investment houses, quantitative research teams have been collated in the open architecture strategy store, similar to an app store, and then executed at institutional rates with Pershing BNY Mellon, one of the world's largest custodians. End-to-end operational support covers customer onboarding, trade administration, and customer support. The best-in-class end-to-end platform is now available for banks, wealth managers, asset management companies for them to launch either a DIY robo-advisory service or a hybrid RM-assisted investment service. Using the platform as a service model, minimizing CAPEX, operational expenses, and time to market. Given the low fee structure business, a shared service model is potentially the most likely model for the economical viability of the service, given the highly diverse spread of regulations, capital controls, investment behavior, and demographics in Asia. Welcome to the future, powered by We Invest.
So there's a lot more detail in terms of how we've partnered with some of the best industry leaders in certain aspects to kind of bring together a solution like this. And you can always visit us to get more detail in terms of how we go about doing this. But I think the core proposition is the fact that there are a number of different components of the solution, be it the client front end, which you just saw a part demo of, be it the underlying infrastructure, which enables you to be able to kind of run different portfolios for some of your clients, be it investment strategies, which some of your insurance firms have very well established investment management teams, but others don't, to actually the execution and custody partner, which we have Bank of New York Mellon or Pershing, which is one of the largest custodians in the world, available right off the tap. And if you include the whole operational support angle, what you effectively get is a very low CAPEX solution. You could almost roll out a robo-advisor within less than 6 months. Very quick time to market, as we were talking about. You could plug and play and use some of the components, not all of them, if you're very confident that you have a better solution for one of them. One example being investment strategies. Your CIO or investment management team may say it has to be only our strategies which effectively get offered. And this is where effectively you could start thinking about what are the different models. There are huge amounts of retail or agents you have. Do you therefore want to launch a hybrid robo-advisory model if you already have the relevant licenses, or if you want to partner with one of our existing partners to launch that? Do you want to offer what kind of product types? If you already have funds, is the only way you'd want to kind of continue this business, which is a bit of a high cost structure, you can continue doing that and roll robo-advisors with mutual funds? Or if you want to kind of move ahead with times and kind of offer ETF-based products, there's a whole variety of options out there. You could offer it in multiple currencies depending on which jurisdictions you would want to kind of try and offer this. And I guess at the end of the day, the economics has to make sense. Everyone talks about robo-advisory being a trend because of the promise of low fees for the end customer. But with low fees to the end customer comes the problem of how do you make effectively it a good business model and continue to make some amount of good margins. And that's where our shared service utility or platform as a service model comes to picture. We're happy to kind of offer it to you on an AUM-based fee from an operational expense perspective, and given the fact that it's all ready-made built up, there's very little customization which, for example, most users who've seen the product have needed. And if you couple it with TrackWealth, you almost have a holistic end-to-end proposition. First, let the customer understand what he has, what are the goals he would want to kind of target, which goals are actually having a shortfall. So am I actually saving enough to meet my child's education goal? Or am I actually meeting enough for my retirement corpus as a goal? And if I'm not, then what's the kind of best investment plan which I have? Or should I get to? And you could use the robo-advisory part for that. You could add an insurance angle to that from a protection perspective. And there's a whole host of other options which you can kind of do based on what we see as the future of wealth and insurance. Thank you. Questions?
Yeah, time for one or two quick questions if you have any. Great videos, by the way. Yeah,
example, the version 1 which we first was launched into beta, we had kept it to more of an affluent, high net worth kind of a segment where it was more about investments. But the more we started getting feedback, we had to say, hey, we need to do the whole expense analysis and the budgeting piece. So the next version, which you'll see in a couple of months, and for example, one of the versions which we're discussing with a bank and an insurance provider, have budgeting as one core part, because goals and budgeting are like an important aspect of what would make this tool a very sticky proposition with the end customer, especially at what you call the lower end of affluent to mass market levels. Actually not. So for example, TrackWealth, which is launched on a direct B2C model, but is also available for companies or institutions to launch it. But we've said that we will launch it, or we've launched TrackWealth with subscription model. We said we don't want the end customers to feel insecure about the fact that the data is going to be sold to anyone or going to be used for any other purposes. So therefore we've launched it with, let's say, anywhere from $10 a month to $40 a month, depending on whether you have a private banking account or a normal retail CASA kind of an account. So we want to make it very affordable for them. But interestingly, one of the conversations with one institution was the fact that, hey, let's launch it as a subscription service so that there's some amount of revenue. But if people are happy to share that data with the institution, then they would kind of waive off any subscription fees. Because at the end of the day, it is a client data which he has to give you the right to kind of use or understand him better. It's not that you, just by rolling out the tool, you can maybe have complete access. I mean, there's a lot more detail in terms of legalities which we can go into very separately.
Okay, thanks very much, Bhaskar. That was great, and as always.